across a Harry Potter book podcast. Today we're doing chapter 14, Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback. Hope I didn't butcher that too badly, all things considered.
Sorry for the silence. We were all just eating a bite of a Kit Kat.
Give me a break.
No, brother.
Piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Honestly, I was more concerned about the fact that we've got the AC on in
furnace.
the background.
We didn't do our sound check.
I think we're doing okay.
Apologies.
Kimmy could probably be a little bit closer, but other than that, I think everything's okay.
Jeez, why don't I just sit in your lap?
We're all off kilter today.
It's been a long day.
It's been a
Some
very
more
long
so than
day.
others.
You're watching this in the future, but we're recording this on the 4th of July. It's been a long day for us.
Happy keep your neighbors up all night.
Yep. Where was it?
Or if you live in Flint, figure out if it's fireworks or shotgun shells.
Yes. The answer is yes. Also, shotgun shells are being nice.
Sawed-off shotguns are a thing.
Back to the story.
We live in Michigan, by the way.
If Flint wasn't a dead giveaway. Back to the story, though. I love how, in the beginning of this chapter, Hermione's like, what am I studying for? You realize we need to pass these exams to get into the second year? Like, that's an option with wizard schools? Like, I know
fail,
that...
to flunk out?
Yeah.
To be held back?
I know that's a thing in public schools, but, like, I didn't realize that was a thing that could happen in the wizard schools, too. But apparently it is.
I have serious doubts.
Well, imagine
Crab and Goyle.
No, because in the books they say even Crab and Goyle barely managed a passing grade.
With the comments that Malfoy makes about their intelligence in book 2, I'm convinced that a lot of the professors probably passed them just because they didn't want to have to deal with both of those two idiots at Hogwarts for the rest of their days teaching.
That's fair. I mean, like, they have an okay understanding of magic. We figure that out later. Like, they can do some spells. They're just, real dumb.
I have to admit, though, one of the things that really got a laugh out of me during this chapter was definitely the Hermione buttering up Hagrid part.
Oh, man. Like, damn, she knew what she was doing. Like,
follow the rules, my ass. She charmed her way through elementary school.
This girl is a menace. We ain't out of book 1, and I'm like...
Because she's like, oh, come on, Hagrid. You know everything that goes on around here.
Played him like a fiddle.
We
Jeez.
wonder who Dumbledore trusted enough to help him. Besides you. Obviously, he trusts you. And he's just all super giddy.
Where was this in the movie?
Right.
Honestly.
Like, come on, butter him up some more. Damn man needs to feel good about something.
That man was probably blushing brighter than a tomato.
Oh, God. And Hermione, when she saw that Malfoy got freaking, in trouble and everything.
She was so happy. She damn near danced a jig.
Oh, my God.
Also,
Ron's out here being a real friend, though. Okay? He's just, trying to cheer up, what's this, Professor, Quirrell and everything. He's just, and, telling people off for making fun of his stutter. I was like, oh, man, what?
That, Quirrell.
Just,
defending Quirrell, Ron.
I know, okay, look, it's not about who he's defending, it's the fact that he's standing up for another person, alright?
That's fair. That is very nice of him, but, Ron, pick a better person.
To be fair, I do find it kind of funny is that Harry's like, Charlie, no, I'm Ron. And I'm just sort of I get the distinct impression that has been a reoccurring problem with his life.
I'm sorry, as a sibling,
yes.
as somewhat one of 6 children, I have been called all of the names, and mind you, 3 of them are boys.
I've been called by, that's funny, but I could probably top that one. I was called my mother on a couple of occasions when I was living with my grandparents.
That is unfortunate.
That is bad. I want to say I can top it, but I'll probably probably match with you. I am one of 2. I have a brother. I couldn't tell you how many times my dad got mad at one of us and went, Cordell, Brandy, Laryl, whoever you are, Leryl's my mom, and I'm sure sometimes the dogs got thrown in there.
And imagine being all gangly, tall, freckled redheads.
Oh God!
It's a miracle any of them had a name.
Like, it's
I got you. I bet you could say Bill's name in that room, and you could probably get every single male in the whole house
What?
to turn and look.
Bill's not here. He's in Egypt. Oh, but Bill came to visit. Oh. Hey, Bill. How's it going?
They'd still respond, though, no doubt. Oh, God.
They probably 100% would.
So, I also think it's really weird, or not weird maybe, but Hagrid is going into the library looking for a book, and just being so extra suspicious about it. Like, just casually go in, get a book, and go.
To be fair, do you honestly think that Dumbledore ever put him on any actual spy missions? No,
It's not
he's the delivery boy.
natural. That's the thing. Act natural.
He can't though, because he's like the guy that starts thinking about it and everything, and he automatically starts making like a bit, like, you know. Nah, Hagrid's the delivery boy. You give him something and it gets to another spot, and that's what he does.
It's funny because it's like it's like he said, just looking in a shifty voice that immediately got their interest. Like, and then he gets suspicious. Like, what are you up to? Looking for Nicholas Flamel? And they're like, oh, we found out who he was ages ago, and he's guarding the Sorcerer's Stone. And Hagrid's just like, shut up. And then they keep talking about it. He's like, shut up again. All right, come down to my shack.
But then, like, I can't let you in. It's stifling hot in here.
What are you up to? Dragon egg. Jeez. Oh, man. Ron's comments about, oh, man, wonder what it's like to live a peaceful, normal life. Dude,
Yeah.
Keep on wondering,
Keep dreaming,
bro.
boy. You're gonna marry Hermione, the Minister of Magic. Keep dreaming.
Hashtag not canon. But anyway,
But also best friends with Harry. Keep fucking dreaming.
Yeah, you're screwed, bro. You're screwed.
still super unrealistic that he ever became an Auror. But anyway.
Oh,
so,
I wasn't even thinking about him
the
being
fact
an Auror.
that, like,
It's Harry fucking Potter. Anyways.
That boy just attracts trouble.
I have to admit that the book he borrows, such a questionable title.
What was the title again?
Dragon breeding for pleasure and profit. And it just sounds wrong.
It's
It's a puppy mill.
It's a book about being a puppy mill, yes.
To be fair, though, he did say it was an old book, and since it was outlawed a long time ago, it makes sense within the lore. You know what I mean? Like, this
That's
would
true,
be
that's
an
true.
out of.
Like,
This
I
would be
just
an-
mean it sounds
Bad.
I played too much D&D. Or did. I know all the D&D memes. Good thing Hagrid's not a bard.
Oh God.
Good thing Dragonborn aren't a thing in this world.
They're
As far as we
basically
know.
they're basically treated like animals, from what I can gather. Like really big nuisances.
And also, like, we get the whole, like, in the movie, it's super rushed about Malfoy. Like, the dragon hatches, Malfoy finds out.
Runs off, and they walk in, and they're all sent into, like...
Yeah, we don't even get
Ron
the
getting
whole...
the bite, the feed.
Ron doesn't get bite. They don't...
Bitten.
It's not them taking care of it. We also don't get the Charlie's friends coming to get it.
Yeah.
He just says that he sent it off. That Dumbledore helped him send it off, if I'm remembering the movie correct.
Yeah, I feel like the...
Oh, you're
Also-
still not on about that bloody
also,
dragon, are you?
Charlie's just completely down, be like, breaking the law? Okie doke.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
He's like, I don't want my friends to get caught, but like, yeah, we can
He's
break
like,
the...
you gotta be
And
careful.
the fact
but,
that
like,
he immediately has friends that he knows are willing to break the law.
And immediately has a plan.
Like-
Tallest tower, midnight.
I'm thoroughly convinced that when Charlie went to school, he probably hung out with Hagrid.
All the
And
time.
probably was thinking to himself, this guy's gonna get a dragon one of these days. And was just
I
like,
need a backup
I
plan.
need a plan, and I need some friends that are a little on the dubious side, because one of these days I'm gonna get a letter. I can feel it in my bones. But yeah, the funny thing is though is that if Harry and Hermione had just taken the 2 bloody frickin' seconds to grab that damn cloak, they would have been perfectly fine.
Also,
I feel bad that Neville gets dragged into all
right.
this.
Yeah, but when did he get dragged in? Not in this chapter. Was it next chapter?
Yeah, he gets brought up in next chapter.
yeah,
was sitting
because
I was sitting here wondering when Neville came
Right,
in.
because at the very end,
they forget the cloak.
Right, because Filch catches them. Because they had left the cloak at the top of the tower. Which
the one good
also,
line from that guy.
It's the tallest tower, which technically means that they were in Ravenclaw Tower.
Not the astronomy tower?
Nope, because I don't think so, because I think technically, because I've read some memes about it, I could be wrong, that maybe it's just that they want to be taller than Ravenclaw. But I think I was reading somewhere that Ravenclaw has the tallest tower.
Astronomy tower.
Oh, it is the astronomy tower is the tower?
That would make more sense, because if the house if the Ravenclaw house was in the tallest tower and stuff, they would have probably had reached a cutoff point, so to speak.
That is fair. Good point.
Would have made astronomy a little bit harder if you had Ravenclaw Tower in your freaking field of view and you couldn't see like the Big Dipper or the bear or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Also, it's probably most likely that it was easier for them to go to the tallest tower, because then the kids didn't have to be out of the castle. Less things that they had to, you know.
Yeah, but then they had to go to out of the castle to Hagrid's hut. And then bring the dragon back into the castle.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about that.
I still don't understand why they couldn't have just met up at Hagrid's house.
Or, in the forest somewhere.
Yeah.
Too many windows that they could have been seen out of, at least if you're at the tallest point of the castle.
Nobody's looking up.
Nobody's really looking up, but people could be looking out.
The problem being, though, is that you're still sending two kids all the way from the very bottom of very bottom of Hogwarts Castle, all the way to the very top.
And they don't even know that Harry has an invisibility cloak.
No, how the hell,
how did they think they were going to get 2 or 3 11-year-olds were going to take a dragon all the way up to the top of the tower? Or Hagrid.
How big is Norbert supposed to be at this point?
Hang on.
Too big, considering
he was pretty big.
Two 11-year-olds were capable of carrying him up an entire castle, basically.
But theoretically, dragons are pretty light because they can fly. So that they have hollow bones, most likely.
What I don't get is why they didn't just ask, hey, Hagrid, here's the invisibility cloak. Drape it over the box you got him in. Carry him all the way up there. You're good. Just give me the damn cloak back later. I don't understand why Harry and Hermione volunteered to do this job to begin with.
Because they love Hagrid and they didn't want him to get in trouble.
I know, but if I was involved in this, I would have still be like, "Hey, Hagrid, that way you get to see see Norbert last."
I don't think we know exactly how big he is, because in a week he was 3 times his length.
But it didn't say how big he was. She was when.
Yeah, right. she was compared to a wrinkled up umbrella, so I don't really think she could have been more than a foot long. Still, she would have been a...
Yeah, it doesn't quite say how long. But, also, when he says that he can't let them in because Norbert's at a tricky stage, it does say that he was big enough to bite Hagrid's boot. That kind of got him. But also that he was big enough that if he banged his tail on the wall, making the windows rattle. So he had to be pretty... Well, we find out later it's a she. I should stop misgendering.
How dare you?
I know, I'm awful. That she she was big enough to make the house rattle, or at least strong enough.
Which I would assume is probably close to Fang size.
If not bigger. Poor dog got bit too.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, so how the hell did Fang... Coming from veterinary medicine, being a tech, I understand that dogs and cats heal slightly different. Cats are notorious for surviving fucking anything and being fine.
Yeah, but you feed them the wrong food and they'll starve themselves.
We weren't talking about them being picky and being gods, okay? I've seen cats come in with abscesses and be just fine.
I just realized I'm streaming.
Are we just gonna leave it?
Well, we might as well just leave it. So, if any of you are tuning in, welcome, hi.
Oh, for God's sake.
Is anybody tuning in?
I doubt it. I don't see anything coming in on chat stream.
Alright, well, if you're tuning in, give us a wave and say hi, and sorry that, we're streaming again. It happens.
We've actually regularly scheduled content later.
Eventually, possibly.
Don't worry, if you came in the middle, this will still get posted on YouTube. I'm
going to have to download this and re-upload it through YouTube and everything. Oh, Man, I've done this once before. I should have caught it a little bit sooner, but we're already, about 15 minutes in? I'd really hate to try to redo this. As interesting and as important as this chapter is...
I wouldn't be able to remember all the things I talked about.
No. Not with our ADHD. But I know I was talking about... We're getting back. Cats come in with abscesses, and they do great. Okay, we get an abscess or some sort of infection, and we're like, I'm dying. Ron gets bit by this damn dragon, and his hand swells up within a day, and then they realize, oh, Norbert is probably poisonous or venomous or whatever it is. And then we find out she bit Fang on the tail.
No, it's venomous. It's poisonous if you eat it.
Yeah, I realized that as I was saying it.
I know.
She's funny. You call yourself a vet tech?
I don't deal with snakes or reptiles. I'll deal with cats and dogs, okay? Back to my point. It bit Fang.
We assume.
No, it said Fang had a bandaged tail.
We assume it was a bite.
I mean, that's a fair point.
If
that dragon was capable of biting through Hagrid's boot, which is usually the size of a baby seal...
That poor dog wouldn't have a tail.
You're not going to convince me that a Great Dane gave itself happy tail. They do not wag their tails like a damn Labrador.
Say that.
Oh, I don't think that dog's been wagging his tail since that dragon showed up.
But if it got bit, then that dog...
If it got bit, it
took that bite like a champ and robbed
Dogs are more relatable to humans. It does not take much to take a dog out. Cats are a different breed. They're aliens.
They do say that hyenas are more closely related to cats. Take that as you will.
So they're cackling evil bastards. No, wait, sorry. That was Lion King speaking. Anyway. I do feel bad for poor Fang, though. That poor dog.
That dog has gone through some shit.
He's a bloody coward.
Not gonna lie, that totally tracks for his breed. Just the picture of this Great Dane just curled up outside. Just help me.
I am curious on what Draco's plan was. Because obviously he found out that they were going to be out of their common room with the dragon because of the book that, Ron left a note in the book like a dumbass. But what was their plan? Or what was his plan? Was he going to report them to the Ministry of Magic? Was he going to report him to Snape? What was his plan?
Draco's not that grand. He was not going to go to whoever the Minister of Magic was.
He just wanted to torture Ron and Hermione about it and get something out of them.
He would probably hold it over their head or go to Snape.
Okay, here's the thing, though, is that McGonagall didn't freaking believe him. But in fact, in the next chapter, if I recall correctly, she still thinks the whole dragon thing was made up.
I think Draco's hope was that either Snape would believe him or that he would catch them in the act and be able to get Snape to see what they were doing.
So, the only thing
because he obviously wasn't reporting it to a teacher. He just went, he was like... Because she says that he was just wandering around in the middle of the night. So, he was just going to try and catch them himself?
Okay, put yourself in the mind of an 11-year-old. If you're trying to catch someone in the act, are you going to go get mom, dad, principal, be like, I need you to come with me, this sounds stupid? Or are you going to try and get the proof to be like,
Where's the proof? Were you have a camera with you, Draco?
Okay, so...
My 11-year-old, not thought out. You're right.
This really isn't thought out, though, because I'm going to be honest with you. He knew where their destination was. If he knew where the destination was and everything...
That's all he needed.
He just needed to go there.
That's all he needed, was the fucking letter.
Yeah, if he kept the proof. If he kept the letter.
Because Charlie says dragon in it. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's all Draco needed. He had the letter in his book. All he needed to do was take that letter to a teacher and be like, listen... This was in a book I borrowed from Ron Weasley. It's from his brother.
Charlie doesn't think very well either when he's because he literally says, I'll be glad to take the Norwegian Ridgeback.
Labels it.
Trouble is, they mustn't be seen carrying an illegal dragon. Could you get the Ridgeback up the tower? So 3 times he incriminates himself in this letter. Charlie, you are down for breaking the rules, but damn are you bad at this. Codes, man. Codes.
To be perfectly freaking frank, Hermione is a little off her game with this whole plan. But it could be that all 3 of them are just sort of like we gotta get this thing out of here.
Charlie,
this has got to go.
Charlie needs to take lessons from Sirius.
Yeah, oh man. Like, there's like so many little things that are kind of amusing when you actually start thinking about it a little bit. Like, dude, you just, like, if it was that important for you to show up or something along those lines, you could have charmed some of the doors. You could have locked them out. Like, made it harder. Like, if you could have slowed them down far enough and stuff, they would have been stuck up there with a dragon with no freaking plan.
He's 11. He has no plan.
To be fair.
I mean, we know that in the 6th book, too. Or, yeah.
For what?
When he's like, yeah, I'll kill Dumbledore. And then he takes all year to freaking do it.
Well, he had tried.
He did not try.
Oh, well, there was the poisoning thing.
Okay, that one was a look-back bitch.
Dumbledore calls him out on them, but he was putting some effort into it, and eventually he did manage to get the Death Eaters in and everything. So
okay, yeah, but like, let's be real. Most of his plans were like not fully thought out, like at all. Dumbledore's like, yeah, they were kind of dumb plans, dude. Like, really? That was the best you got? I don't think you're serious. You're right. I'm Malfoy.
Yeah, jeez,
But
set yourself up for a bad joke. Now that's just bad comedy.
That's the best comedy is when you make fun of yourself. I've seen comedians.
Oh, for God's sake. Alright, so let's see here. What else did we end up?
I am very excited.
Madame Pomfrey's a real G, though. She
suspects.
I
don't think that's a dog bite, but
okay.
I'm just here to fix you.
I'm convinced that
she lives for the tea.
Oh, no doubt. Like, $10 says she was probably talking to the teachers at the end of the school year party or something along those lines.
You're like, I'm not sure how he got bit by a dragon, but he did.
Oh God, you think
McGonagall will be like,
wait, what?
Yeah, classic dragon. Dragon sign. So, twice the size, oozing green gunk and purple. Oh, it's typical. It's been a while since I've seen one that bad.
Threw me for a loop, I must say.
Definitely exciting.
McGonagall, oh my God, that little Malfoy shit was telling the truth. Oh God.
Oh my God, he has tuxedo mask. Sorry, Kimmy and I have been watching Sailor Moon, so the way she said "oh my God" reminded me of the
Viz Media dub.
Oh my God.
And it's just so bad, but like,
oh my God, he has Sailor. He has
oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's great though. We love it.
Oh, but all I can think to myself is that at some point in time, somebody in the staff is got to be having fun. It's got to be like you can't. Like somebody in that staff room is happy that Harry has taken off some elements of James and Sirius Black, because I
betting pools.
Oh, easily. Oh, there's got to be a betting pool going on.
But Madame Pomfrey runs a betting pool. She tells the teachers, this is what they came in and told me it was. What do you think it actually was?
Place your bets.
That sounds just like her. I would believe that she'd do it. How many years? There was a few years at least between when James and Lily left school and Fred and George started school. So like I feel like all of the teachers are like, God, it's so boring.
Like, man, I think in the 5th book, everyone was, like, super excited. I mean, granted, they were also, like, happy to get back at Umbridge. But, like, they were super, like, Flitwick was super impressed with the swamp. He left a little bit of it left as tribute. And they thought the fireworks were incredible.
Oh, God.
So, obviously, they're like, yeah, breaking the rules. But, like, they wouldn't have any... If everybody followed the rules, it'd be like, okay, another boring day of teaching.
$10 says Professor Flitwick is just having a blast hearing all of the fun shenanigans the student body has gotten up to at some point.
100%. I am really looking forward to the next chapter. It's the Forbidden Forest.
Oh, we get to meet the centaur and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Though I still have to.
Was it Ferengi?
Friends.
Okay, Friends.
Still though, Forbidden Forest. Students aren't allowed to go in. Detention. Send them in. Middle of the night. Cool.
Man-eating spiders.
Knowing that Dumbledore probably knows that the spiders are there. They know that there are centaurs who aren't too keen on wizards. They're okay right now, but they're still not great about it. Werewolves.
The werewolf offspring, or whatever you want to call them.
The wolf pups.
Yeah.
Wolfmen? I don't know. You know, but still.
Wolf dogs?
Possible other dangers in the Forbidden Forest, you know, aka Forbidden Forest. Sending him out with, like, sure, Hagrid, but, like, also, he's not supposed to do magic.
Also, sending them with a fucking Great Dane. I don't know how
Bloody
many...
coward that he is.
I don't know how many... Well, we talked about this in the first couple of chapters when we first met Fang.
We did.
But in case you forgot, if you've never met a Great Dane in your life, let me tell you. The Goofy Clown is 100% true. Marmaduke and Scooby are 100% true. That is how a Great Dane acts. They are cowards.
Ruh-roh. But, oh man, like, this whole thing seems so... This is one of those things where it's like, it's clear that either Rowling wanted this event to happen. There needed to be some sort of confrontation to let Harry know that Voldemort was involved, though to be perfectly honest. It would be his luck. I feel like, you know, any self-respecting kid who's ever read a book and stuff along those lines would probably suspect, oh, shit. But,
I mean, he thought Voldemort was dead. He had no reason to think that Voldemort wasn't dead.
I could have sworn Hagrid had made a comment about him being too weak to carry on.
That he suspected that.
Yeah, but he takes everything Hagrid says as face value. You know, like
that's fair.
Out of all of the adult figures that Harry knows and stuff,
he trusts Hagrid the most.
Especially considering Hagrid doesn't seem to have the ability to lie. Case in point, this chapter.
Right.
But,
oh, nothing. I wasn't looking at nothing. Not me. I definitely wouldn't look at nothing about dragons. Nope. Couldn't possibly care anything about dragons. Those big, beautiful creatures that eat things and set things on fire. Those beautiful creatures, not interested in me at all.
Tell me you're a pyromaniac without telling me you're a pyromaniac. The funny thing is, though, is in Legacy and stuff, when you're actually playing through that game, you deal with frickin' spiders all the damn time in that.
All over the place. There's even a whole side quest, spoilers. You go into a village and this woman's like, I thought I'd breed my own spiders. No biggie. And then it infests the whole town.
People are idiots, aren't they?
Good thing she dies, right?
I still feel bad for her dying, but, you know.
I don't.
Such a compassionate individual we have here.
Do stupid shit and find out, man.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
There we go.
The stupid prize being death.
I do have to admit, though, I feel like there's a lot of things that the movie does miss out on. I do like Hermione doing the little jig and everything. I do like it makes a lot more sense in terms of.
How did they keep the dragon quiet enough?
That's also a good question.
Silencing spell? I don't know.
Who did the silencing spell?
Hermione.
I don't think that's a first year spell.
Yeah,
you're right. She doesn't.
I love how you argued against yourself on that
question.
one.
What's a stoat sandwich?
I think Brandy may have been 2 steps ahead of you. Oh, never mind. All right. So while she's actually looking that up and everything, I do find that Hagrid is so emotionally blind when it comes to this dragon. Like, Ron gets bitten and he gets mad at Ron. Dog gets bitten, dog gets sent out of house.
Well, I think that was for the dog's safety.
You can't tell me he wasn't getting on the Great Dane for being a, big bully towards the new baby in the house.
Here, before we get to the stoat sandwich, I also realized when Hagrid's like, oh yeah, I suppose you worked it all out and all about the stuff almost being stolen out of Gringotts, and then he's like, beats me how you even know about Fluffy. Hagrid, really? Obviously they stumbled across him. Duh. You should be asking, be like, are you okay? Were you hurt? Nah, he doesn't even care. He's just like, I don't know how you figured out about that dog. And they even mentioned that they can hear the growling through the door.
Talk about needing a silencing spell there.
To be perfectly honest, I'm still not entirely convinced that Dumbledore hasn't set a majority of this entire up himself personally.
That's fair.
Entirely fair. Also, Stoat is like a ferret, weasel, ermine type creature. Which, looking forward into book 3, really begs the question, does Hagrid have a ferret breeding farm somewhere?
considering he feeds.
Wait, no. Well, they're common. They're common in the wildlife in England.
Not around Hogwarts. With how many things have been eating the freaking
wildlife
in this area, I'm surprised this place isn't entirely filled with magical creatures.
Right. And there's a giant squid in the lake. That's confirmed.
There's so many questions, so many unanswered questions that pop up in this freaking area, basically. Like, how in the world they've managed to keep this place safe and secure with all of the problems that pop up around in this area is a miracle in and of itself.
Super common in England?
Very common in England. Pretty much the top third of the world.
Seriously?
Yep. I pulled up the map. So Russia, Siberia, Canada, part of North America, Greenland, Iceland, and the Scandinavia, and basically the UK.
I feel like in a lot of books that I've read, they mention ermine coats a lot.
Huh.
Which, man, you'd have to kill a lot of them to have enough fur to be worth it.
Yeah.
Probably.
But they are, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Plentiful?
No.
Vermin?
Close. That's, maybe vermin's not the word I'm looking for here. Help. Classification. Rodents. That's the word I'm looking for here.
Kind of.
I think they're closer to, they're kind of close to rodents.
I think they're close to that family.
So they breed quickly.
Fair enough. If that's the case, then probably, why the box of rats to begin with? Why not just call it Shaz? I have to admit, that does make me think that a lot of the stuff that goes on, in Hogwarts and everything, sounds magical and stuff, because we're not even familiar with some of the normal animals that appear in England and Scotland and
badgers
stuff.
are adorable in England, and they are not so much in America or Africa, I think. It's where honey badgers live, right?
Honey badgers are Africa, I believe.
Yes. But European, England badgers, so cute. So cute.
Yeah, I still ain't fucking with that shit.
Well, no. I'm just saying they're cute. Not saying I'm gonna go fucking fight a badger.
I'd be more worried about you petting an animal than trying to fight one, to be honest.
Uh-oh. Brandy messed up on her.
I'm crocheting while we're podcasting, and I did a row, and I had to undo it because I messed up at the very beginning of the row.
No.
Oof, that's rough there.
It's a color work, and I mixed the colors up.
That's rough, buddy.
This is why I
Easy
set it
there,
down.
Zuko.
This is why I set it down so I can make sure my color work was done.
Alright.
Back to the show.
Back on track.
I think we've kind of tapped out this. I don't know why, but real quick, with the Harry giving Quirrell encouragement, it's it says that he gives him a sort of encouraging smile, but I always kind of see him doing one of those awkward 2 thumbs up smiles, you got this.
Way to go, buddy.
Though, to be honest,
and just imagine Voldemort being what the fuck is this kid doing? This is my enemy.
God.
This little shit. What?
To be fair, Voldemort ain't exactly straight, especially if that awkward hug in the final movie is anything to go by.
Oh, that's so.
He
Why did they put that in? That was just terrible.
I just get the distinct impression that neither of these guys are actually very well socialized anymore after a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Voldemort's never hugged a person in his life.
Probably not. Positive social
And for all of you saying that he fucked Bellatrix, that doesn't mean you had to hug. Also,
I still hate that book so much.
So, it doesn't make any sense. Voldemort wouldn't be the kind of person who would have an heir. Because, hear me out. If he had an heir, he would be that heir is gonna kill me for sure. You want to know my dark theory about that? If we're gonna actually brush on the subject. Magical insemination?
No. So, you remember, going through that and going into the dark evil future with Scorpius and everything?
Yeah.
She's never mentioned in that future. She doesn't seem to remember or comment about the fact that she actually succeeded whatsoever. Right? So, what if she was used for some sort of potion to kind of restore his ability to have Horcruxes or something?
Very possible. Yeah. Because it would be blood of, the bone of the father, and, if you didn't have any bone left. would a child be the same? Like, would it work?
Because, like...
or if he was used to be like, I'm going to hijack your body.
Oh, yeah. That's also a distinct possibility. Like, for all we know, she could have just been spare parts.
That's true. Because, like, we know that there are multiple ways to, you know, for Horcrux to come back into being. Case in point, book 2, when he uses Ginny's life force.
Yeah.
So right it's very possible that he could have used her to come back. That is fair. And also, I think the reason why she didn't have any memories from the dark future wasn't mentioned was also because, like, only the people who were time traveling remembered. Unless you got blipped out of existence like Albus did for a minute. Poor Scorpius.
It's one of those things where it's like the time travel was handled so much better in book 3 and everything than it actually did. If for no other reason than it's an actual solid loop of events and stuff where everything happened the way it did because it already had, basically.
Yeah.
Though
you're still getting paradoxes a bit.
Yeah, my thought process being is, theoretically speaking, if you found out about a death that actually happened and it was confirmed and stuff, if you had enough time, you could go back and replace the body of the person with another body, in a sense, and be like, yeah, there we go. You technically did die, but we should be getting some news shortly that it was actually a fake body. You could theoretically pull a person out of a dangerous situation and replace them. Chrono Trigger, for those of you who are into older video games, would be an example of basically exactly what they did. If they're capable of reversing time with a magical item and stuff, they should theoretically be capable of pausing time.
That is true. But, like, time gets weird, man.
I honestly feel like
all the things have happened to Wizard who messed with time, Harry.
It's true.
Shows image of David Tennant.
Look, man. I still think that the freaking Cursed Child is a horrible fan/fic of what if Doctor Who but Harry Potter, and I hate it.
I'm not particularly fond of it either myself, to be perfectly frank. But digressing and stuff. If we do eventually go through this, we're not going to want to like exhaust all of our
making fun of that book.
Yeah.
Look, man, there's so much to make fun of. I think we can do this for a while.
To be perfectly honest, that will be a chore. This is fun, entertaining, and everything. It's nice having friends over and discussing this. But, yeah, that's...
Listen, if we're going to do the Cursed Child, I demand wine or hard liquor.
Shots every time somebody says something stupid.
Glug, 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 glug.
Shots every time Harry's a bad dad. Shots every
glug,
time...
Glug, 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 glug.
Shots every time every time Ginny isn't the badass that she was in the books.
Glug, 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 glug.
To be fair, she wasn't really that badass in the movies.
Honestly, shots every time they say Albus.
Glug, glug, glug.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to keep my liver at least somewhat intact. Somewhat being a word.
You can grow a new liver. It's fine.
That's not how that works.
No, he raises a good point. I'm on medications that say I shouldn't have that much alcohol.
I don't even like to drink, man. You know what? Tell you what, I'm gonna get stoned for that episode.
You get stoned, I'll have a glass of wine.
Jesus.
We're in Michigan. It's legal here.
Yay?
Yay. It is yay. Hey, you got stoned and you had a good time.
Yeah, you came home cackling.
Plausible deniability. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I mean, us get stoned? What? No, never. But we're exhausting this topic now.
Do we have anything else that we need to talk about in the book?
Honestly, there really isn't anything super serious or interesting. Even when you guys were talking about when we hit like the 30-minute marker and everything, I was already kind of at a loss for really what to add. It's an important chapter, but there isn't really anything super special, unique, or like...
It's just the setup for the Forbidden Forest.
We've kind of hit the plot points of the story where we're not really exploring the Harry Potter universe so much as we are actually going through the events leading up to the climax of the story.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird, though, for a good chunk of the actual book. It's a lot of small stakes stuff, lots of, like, kids being kids and school related, And then as soon as this chapter basically hits off and stuff, we start
murder.
Yeah, we start going straight up to the top of the the roller coaster before we hit the climax.
Yeah, because we have, let's see, our end of the book updates. 3 chapters left.
Yeah, we're pretty close there.
So close. So close. We're on page 242 and it ends at page something.
I've never heard them numbered like that.
309.
Page something. Interesting.
Hardy hard. I had to flip through the books.
It must be really hard to flip to the last page.
Oh, excuse you. The last page is about the author, and I don't give a shit about that. And there's a little quick summary of the second book. So I had to flip through that until I found the actual last page. Thank you very much.
Details
are important. And that's why we're tearing these books apart.
Yeah, they're not. The detail's not important.
I don't know, Kimmy. ADHD, either all of the details or none of the details.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not important to us.
That's fair. But, if you guys enjoy any of our content, you can find me on social media at Luna's Creation Corner, where I do a lot of crochet.
I am on YouTube, FlossTube specifically, under Brandy and Wine Stitches, or all other socials under Hockeytown Candle Co., where you can, for the former, find out about my creative projects, namely cross-stitching, and for the latter, all of my soy candles and craft shows.
I am currently streaming right now on accident, so Cole Sanders, you might accidentally get one of these podcasts, 4 weeks in advance if you decide to follow me?
Don't be too confused if the book's out of order.
Yeah, we'll start talking.
What are you otherwise streaming?
Right now I've basically just been playing Dead by Daylight and Multiverses.
Okay.
Which are just fun online games and everything. I really do need to get back to playing some more of Final Fantasy VII. But I haven't exactly been in the mood for playing a story-heavy game at the moment. At least not while also trying to be entertaining and talking to people. Yeah, but
talking to people, ew, gross.
Says the woman on a podcast. Anyway, we could probably wrap things up here now that everything's been, plugged and everything. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and everything. Feed that algorithm. And anyway, in the meantime, keep your wands at the ready.